is that? Is that the welcome to Yukon sign?
Roasting the Canadian provinces I'm driving through for absolutely no good reason. Welcome, my friends, to the Yukon. This is disgusting. Who would do something like this? Remember, if you see this little guy, take a picture and tag me on Instagram. There's got to be a better looking sign than that. I'm going to go look for one, excuse me. Roasting the Canadian provinces I'm driving through for absolutely no reason. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Yukon. Oh, Yukon, Canada's feral upper left corner, festering and pulsating. You're like that weird shoulder mole that Canada should be concerned about, but strangely isn't. You think you've got what it takes to live here? Yukon not. Yukon is the land of people who got lost, gave up, and just settled. Yukon gets its name from an old indigenous word. Yuck! The Yukon is like Alaska's weird little brother who eats moss and stares at the sun for way too long. The Yukon has so few people, your Tinder radius has to include ghosts of 19th century gold miners. The most advanced technology in the Yukon is door. In the Yukon, you don't check the weather, you just look outside and start crying. The rugged, frostbitten bouncer at the club of provinces and territories, standing in the shadows, arms crossed, smelling like spruce and danger, the one thing keeping Canada safe from those Alaska punks. You are part wilderness, part delusion, and 100% likely to survive the apocalypse before the rest of us even find our boots. You are not just a province, you're a challenge. You're the Canada most of Canada is too soft to handle. Let's unpack this frosty madness. Yukon, where the wild things are, and they vote. Yukon, you are big. And I don't mean the way that your girlfriend keeps lying to you guys. I mean actually big. They've got more square kilometers than social interactions. More moose than people. More wilderness than Wi-Fi. The Yukon is the kind of place where running errands might involve a float plane, bear spray, a snowmobile, and 3 hours of quiet reflection in the woods. You are so north, the sun doesn't set in the summer, and in the winter it peaks up for like 40 seconds and goes, nah, before vanishing again like a flake who forgot your birthday. You are like Alaska's polite, slightly older cousin who also dabbles in gold prospecting and has opinions about sled dog nutrition. Whitehorse, the capital, the legend, the town with the vibe of a rugged frontier outpost that got Wi-Fi in 2011 and immediately became weirdly artistic. Whitehorse is where you can see the northern lights on your commute, even though you should be paying attention to the red lights, Chad! Do they even have red lights in the Yukon, or is that too fancy for them? In the Yukon, your dentist probably runs a dog sled team. Everyone owns at least one item made of fur, and it's not for fashion, it's for not dying. Whitehorse has a brewery, a bookshop, 5 coffee shops that close at 2 p.m., and 40,000 square kilometers of untamed wilderness per person. You are half hipster, half homesteader. You drink craft beer while chopping wood. You make your own tea and your own soap from lichen. You are the only city where someone might show up to a poetry reading wearing a parka, carrying a rifle, and still applaud enthusiastically for every single poet. Here comes the sun. You know, fun fact, I'm actually filming this at 2 a.m. As for the rest of the Yukon, you are so remote, your nearest neighbor is probably a grizzly bear, or a guy named Vern who lives in a yurt, plays harmonica at the moon, and claims to be married to a spirit bear. Your towns have names like Dawson, Carcross, and Old Crow, which sound like characters in a gritty Netflix western, because basically they are. You have communities so tight-knit they might literally be knit, like by the same person, like that town in Blazing Saddles, and no, I'm not talking about the racism. Half the year the weather wants to murder you. The other half the mosquitoes take over and try to finish the job. Yukon only has one season, and it's called, Why Did I Move Here? The people of the Yukon are built different. They don't complain, they adapt. They don't panic, they plan. Women carry bear spray in their purses and have a favorite axe at home. Y'all seeing this cloud of mosquitoes around me, right? It's just 'cause I'm so sweet. You are so friendly, but also very aware of which berries you can eat and can't eat while lost in the woods. You know how to start a fire in a blizzard, make bannock out of scratch, and field dress a caribou while reciting Robert Service poems. You don't run from problems. You snowshoe proudly towards them. You're the kind of person who uses thaw as a verb and mild frostbite as small talk. You don't just live in the North, you are the North. Your idea of a community event is dog sled racing, chainsaw carving, or storytelling by someone named Uncle Joe who is not related to anyone in the area and may actually be a time traveler. You've got arts festivals that happen in tents during blizzards and people show up with casseroles. You have an entire season dedicated to Gold Rush cosplay and nobody finds that weird. But you are. You are weird. You're weird, you're wild, you're wonderful. And you don't care what Southern Canada thinks. You barely remember that Southern Canada exists at all. And honestly, that's kind of badass. But let's be real. Yukon is breathtaking. Mountains that look like they've been carved by gods. Lakes so still, they reflect your soul. Skies that crack open with the northern lights like the universe decided to throw a rave just for you. You are raw, real, unfiltered, untouched, and unconcerned with your Instagram aesthetic. You don't need filters. You don't need flash. You are what the earth looks like when no one is watching. So here's to you, Yukon, you gorgeous, frostbitten, moose-haunted wonderland. You've got the survival skills of a mountain goat and the soul of a poet. You are a test, a teacher, and a wilderness wrapped in history, mystery, and thermal underwear. You are cold, you are wild, you are absolutely not for the weak, and that is exactly the point. You are not here to impress. You are here to endure. So raise a cup of spruce tea, tip your fur hat, and whisper into the snow. We don't just survive up here. We thrive. And we do it with mittens on. But here's the thing about the Yukon. For all its frozen desolation, bear-infested backroads, and population density somewhere between ghost town and introvert's wet dream, it's still standing. Strong. You have to respect a place so harsh that even Old Man Winter considers the place overkill, and yet, people still carve out lives here, build communities, and somehow manage to smile through a blizzard like it's just a mildly inconvenient Tuesday. The Yukon may be cold, remote, and almost entirely made of moose crap and permafrost, but you've got grit. The kind of grit that doesn't wash off even after decades of snowmelt, and honestly, it's kind of beautiful. Even if we don't want to visit. Ever. The Yukon. Because someone has to live here. Just not me. I'm leaving.